Bonjour, good morning and welcome to the Château. Today we're going to film in this room and tell you all about this room. But first, I thought I'd let you see what it's like with the windows and the shutters closed, and then let some light in for our day of filming. Right, shall we begin? And it's not even a very sunny day today, so you'll notice the difference immediately. But with the shutters gone, it is even more, well, a bit squeaky, but definitely a bit more magical.
Need some WD-40.
It's something like that. And there we go. Mountains, the sun, and the room's all ready for our video.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Welcome back to Château de Capella.
Welcome back.
We have been working in this room for the past week and a half.
Hard for the last week, yeah. It's been very focused on here. We've been working on lots of parts of the chateau, where we can see there's at least 3 other rooms within sight of here that have been worked on, but a lot of work's been focused on getting this ready for some finishing touches.
Yes, we've had a lot of helpers helping us to perfect the floor in here, for instance. Not to forget the little helpers, as you will see in a little bit. They also did their bit of sanding and painting.
Yeah, varnishing. Everyone has a turn.
But this is one of the rooms in the apartment. We refer to it as Oma and Opa's apartment.
Omar and Opa will be watching this, by the way.
Grandma and Grandpa's apartment, because this is where we see my parents staying when they come to visit us, whenever that may be. We're all hoping that there will be the opportunity this year.
And occasionally, when we're referring to different rooms, it saves confusion on which room we're working on.
Yes. But yes, for long-term guests basically, it is an apartment, but it's very much still part of the chateau. It's the east side of the chateau, but it's also self-sufficient, so it will have its own little kitchen part, lounging, dining area, a bedroom, bathroom, probably a second bathroom.
Yeah, second toilet and maybe a second shower.
Yes. So yes, this is it.
So the plan is actually that we might live in here next as well.
Yes, I was going to say that next.
Right.
We, as you all know, we're living in the apartment on the far west side of the chateau, which is not part of the main house. It's part of the outbuildings. It was dependencies, yes. It's one big room with a separate bathroom, and we've been in there for nearly a year now. April.
5 people in a large open plan apartment.
Yes, it's been tough, especially with Andrew working from home quite often, home education taking place in the same space.
The joy is burning a nice big chateau, which is under renovation that you cannot live in. It's a total irony.
So, our hopes are that by the end of March, beginning of April, we will be moving into this part of the chateau. So we have at least 4 or 5 different rooms that we can live in, while the rest of the renovations take place.
Shall I talk about the rooms and the work that's going on?
Please.
So this room is mostly going to be a kitchen, which is a little bit behind the camera, you can't see. And there's a new wall that's been erected behind the camera. You could see in the photo that went up on Facebook this week. So it's a new wall because the previous wall wasn't strong enough. It's a wood stud wall, so easy for running piping and electrics into. And behind us we have the exterior stone wall. So on the outside of this, just over there is the tower. On the outside of this you then go down the driveway, leaving the chateau if you were saying farewell to us. So we've got 2 windows facing south, which is why it's nice and sunny this morning. It's a cloudy day here,
It's
but
not
it's still
actually sunny.
No, but it's still sunny. It's a cloudy day and the sun's trying to break through. At least it's not raining or snowing today. So there's 2 windows in this room, and this end of the room will be lounge with an eating area in the middle, and then kitchen, and that's the plan for this room. There's a fireplace, which I think you can just glimpse on the edge of the video, which we're hoping to get working with an insert wood burner, but we haven't got plans for that finalised. There's a bit of a challenge around the shape and the dimensions of the chimney, and being a bit too narrow to put an insert chimney flue up, but we'll try and work on that one when we can.
Modern regulations, building regulations.
Yeah, indeed.
They didn't have it hundreds of years ago.
So the hard work in here previously was getting all the walls ready. So these walls have been pointed and the old plaster damage removed. The wall on this side has been replastered and repaired. There's still some woodwork and some windows that needs to get repaired. And then the floor, the ceiling was also done at the same time with plasterboard and repairs. So the floor had a lot of work. We had some holes. There were some big holes here where the rain damage had come through from the ceiling, from the roof being broken many years ago. And there were point patches, large sections, metre by metre holes, which have been repaired. And then there were sanded, stained, supported from underneath to make sure everything was nice and solid, and then varnished. And that's the work which has been happening in the last week, because once the floor is ready, we can come in and we can start installing kitchens and pipework and finishing the windows and getting on. And then within a month, if we can sort out all the procurement and the labour and everything else, because I'm working in the background as well, but within a month, there's a chance that this room is going to get close to finished.
That's the plan.
That's the plan, yeah.
We all know what happens to plans.
Indeed, yeah. Well, plans and plans. Good, what is it? The benefit of having a plan is in the replanning. At least we have a plan. So we have some videos to show. Oh, we have some videos to show in just a minute of all the little helpers, including the birthday girl. On your birthday, you were driving the sand around. A bit of a practical joke was played on you as well. And we had all our helpers in here sanding, because the sanding was a huge, big machine which made lots of noise, and you had to wear earmuffs and safety goggles, so it was all very exciting. Those kind of tools are very exciting. And then we had everyone in varnishing, because it's a pretty big floor. It's what, 5 metres by 6 metres this room? Something like that?
I'm not sure, sorry.
I think it's 5 by 6.
Big.
Yeah, so 30 metres square. So it takes a fair bit to varnish, especially because the floor is grained, and the brush size actually wasn't as big as we'd expected, because we needed to get into all the little nooks and crannies with the varnish. So it was almost a whole day work, whole day's job, and it still needs a second coat, which is why we're wearing our socks today. You wanted to joke about my Birkenstocks and socks? No Birkenstocks today, guys. In fact, I don't even have any Birkenstocks anymore. I wore them through, and they went into the bin. So this summer we'll be purchasing some new Birkenstocks so I can add my fashion back to the YouTube channel.
Some of you will remember the video, I think it was the kitchen video,
I think
where
so.
Andrew was wearing Birkenstocks and socks, and we had a lot of comments about the fashion.
Potentially some German ancestry back in the day, or who knows, aren't they all the ones who are Birkenstocks and socks people?
Guess what he's getting for Christmas this year?
Yeah, perhaps too late. Summer. So should we go through questions while we're here now?
Yes.
Or should we take a break and do the sanding videos first?
Let's show the videos first, and then we'll talk about the questions people have, especially about this bit of wall here.
Okay, we'll see you back in a minute then. Right, boys, what are we doing today?
Painting.
Painting.
Varnish on the floor.
Putting some varnish on the floor. What do you think about it, guys?
Okay. Good.
Good. It's a bit too much, it's okay.
I put a lot more on than that.
Expertly done there. A little bit messy with those strokes. Let's try and keep them a little bit straight, shall we? Artisan. Mr. Artisan Painter. Mr. Artisan Painter, you having a go in a minute?
Yes.
Excellent.
Why?
That floor's dry, you can put Sophie down there. Right, what do you think, Mr. Painter?
This border.
That's where we're going to stop today, and we'll paint that bit next. We're going to run down half of the room first. What do you think?
Good.
Good idea, is it? How's the painting going? Hey, don't paint the walls.
And I should paint the wall next.
Not with this stuff. This is varnish for wood, isn't it? Right, do you want to get a bit on and do the next bit? Just a little bit on the tip? That's it? That's it? Yeah, perfect. Don't paint the paint tin. I'll move that for you in just a minute when I've got my hands free.
Is varnish.
You having fun?
Yep.
Good work, mister. Right, how's that painting going? Goodness, you're doing a good job. A little bit too much. Has it better now? That's it, you can put that down on the wood now. That's it, excellent. And this little guy's come in to check out how the floor varnishing's going. I'll rescue him in a minute because he's already given his executive decision that the painter is first A class, gold trophy standard. Thanks, mate. And we're back. Now we wanted to do some questions because there's been a few questions on the post, and I think, well, people are always curious about what's going on in the rooms in the chateau. My memory's not that great. I can talk about the door, and then you're going to have to help prompt me for the questions. So some people picked up on this in the photo. This is obviously an exterior door. You can see from firstly the lintel, and secondly, if we stand back, you can see that the stones go up in a perfect infill pattern where a door used to be.
Well, we assume where a door used to be.
Yeah, we were fairly certain there was a door there.
Yeah.
So we're not experts in ancient French, I was going to say archaeology, design, architecture. Knew it started with an A. We're not experts in ancient French architecture, but we've been told that this is very likely an entrance to an exterior toilet. Let me explain. So we're on the first floor of the property, and the property has its main view to the south, and the town is that way. So this would have been, although it was a pathway at some point, and the road, the driveway is now there, it may not have always been. Now the first floor here is where the bedrooms are, and there's nothing quite like in the middle of the night when it's cold, needing to go to the facilities. And the facilities in those days was a little bit more rustic in terms of, the electric lights didn't work so well 100 years ago, and maybe there wasn't running water and underfloor heating, so it wasn't quite the same as what we have today. So this bedroom area would have come into this room, opened the door, gone onto a tiny little veranda and done their business, closed the door, hurried back into bed as fast as they could without taking off those lovely long hats to keep their head warm and any kind of slippers they had on. So this was some kind of bathroom facility for the middle of the night for the sleeping bedrooms up here. It has a French name, which I'm sure someone will tell me afterwards.
That's what that was if you had something different you wanted to do that couldn't stay in the chambre pot.
Yeah. I was going to make a joke and say it's a piscine, but we know the piscine is a pool. But you get the idea. Right, other questions please? Help up? Putting you on the spot now.
Yeah, I don't remember actually either.
Oh, there's some questions at the floor about how old it is. So
yes.
I had a guess, and I'll explain my guess. So the house was not lived in before us for somewhere between 20 and 30 years, depending on who you ask. So if we add that onto it, there was no one repairing floors for that period of time. And then before that, there were people living here, and I don't think there was renovations done towards the end, because the house went into repossession, I think, taken over by the bank. So if we think about that period, so there's at least kind of 50 years. So I think the minimum age is 50 years. I think they're much older than that.
Yeah.
If we think about some of the renovations that have happened and some of the painting that's on there, there's very old, potentially lead paint, which is, I don't know, turn of the century kind of stuff, or maybe even late 1800s, difficult to tell. And they may not have redone a floor, they may have just sanded the floor or painted it or put a rug on it, who knows what they did. So I think it's at least 50 years old, that's the bare minimum, and I think it's more likely 100, and potentially somewhere between 100 and 200.
Personally, I think the house was built in 1536, or that's the first time there's a mention of the building here. But I don't think it was as we see it today, because it was built as a lazaretto, and then in the 1700s it became home to Baron de Sevon. I would suggest that, given the huge pieces of wood that's here, we've been told that it's the more wealthy people who would have had these huge planks. My guess is that it probably came from the 1700s.
So I'm going to work on something there and correct her on the video, unfortunately. I don't think there's a floor underneath this. So this is a second floor added on top. So this is a flooring on top of the flooring. There's old boards underneath it.
Right.
You may not even know. There's a total level of flooring underneath this floor, which is also big boards, but they're in a worse state of repair. So that's probably the 1700 floor, which is still retained, we still have them, but this is old, this is newer. So I reckon it's 1700 plus maybe 100, which gets it to 1800, which is why I think it's somewhere between 100 and 200 years old.
Yeah, well, no.
But it's all guesswork, right?
In the end, your guess is as good as ours.
Absolutely. We've got a little bit of information, and you have all our information now. What other questions were there? Fireplace. My memory is better than yours.
Yeah.
Are we going to get the fireplace working? Hopefully, but I think we described in the earlier video we have it.
Penny on the fireplace.
Leave it there, it's good luck. The plan is to hopefully get it working, but we're not sure. At the moment, the regulations say it's going to be a challenge because the French chimneys don't go up with a big square. At the fireplace, they narrow down and go up with this tiny little, sometimes almost a little bit thicker than a piece of A4 with some bends in it. Anyway, it's very, very narrow, and it's much narrower than the tubing we need to put up there for the new sleeves insert. So we either need to drill a hole or come up with another solution or do something if we want a fireplace here. So that's an unresolved open point for us.
Yes, we've had a few chauffagistes in the
Heating engineers come in to have a look at heating plans for the main house.
But yes, it's France. You tend to wait for devis or quotes to come back.
Yeah, it's very relaxed. There's probably too much sunshine and wine to be drunk, and the paperwork is not a priority.
Yes.
But that's the lifestyle, and we came here for a reason.
Yes, we like the relaxed, laid-back lifestyle. It's perfect for us, really.
Now, conscious of time, is there anything else you want to say about the room? Or they've had the introduction, they've seen some fantastic helper videos of sanding and varnishing. We've talked about the door, the fireplace, and the floor. Is there
No,
anything else?
If
or
you have
should
any
we-
further questions, put them at the bottom of the video and we will aim to answer them either in the next video or
Yeah.
on the group on Facebook.
Always happy to answer questions and talk.
Yeah.
So, should we say?
At the end.
I'll be in touch.